was born to be free.
Well, good morning. It's about 8:45 in the morning of Sunday of the bank holiday at the beginning of May, and I'm here at Swanwick Marina. You can see the facilities up there. Had a good meal there last night after a very demanding day with fuel starvation. Let's call it fuel starvation. If you haven't seen the last video, I recommend you go and watch it. I came up the handle here and then started having engine difficulties about half a mile down the river. By the time I got here, the engine was barely running, and I did some loops in this area waiting for someone to come out here, and I knew that I just had to nail this first time. You can see there's a gentle, well, the tide's coming in, there is a gentle current coming through. Last night when I arrived, it was much stronger as the river flows down to the sea, and I knew I had to just bring her in one go, which I did. And as I put the engine to idle, as I thought she would, the engine died. I got to the bottom of it. I thought I was going to have to be changing filters and debugging the fuel system. I got to the bottom of it. All I will say on this video is it was fuel starvation, but I do recommend you go and have a look at that last video. I learned some very important lessons. So I want to warm the engine now and make sure the engine sounds healthy. I'm sure it will be. And then head off up the Hamble to the sea, turn left, head towards Portsmouth, cross the shipping channel there, and then do my familiar run down to Chichester Harbur and on to Chichester Marina. So it's going to take a good 6 hours or so. I might have some winds with me, certainly by Portsmouth to Chichester. I'm hoping I can do some good sailing, but I may have to motorsail from Southampton to Portsmouth. We'll see. I recommend this marina. It's very quiet, but a lovely atmosphere in the restaurant, and it's great food, and very picturesque riverside views. So I strongly recommend it. I'll definitely come back here, and I'll try some of the other ones on the handle, like Universal, which is also in by Premier, just 100 metres further up. So let's get the boat ship shape and let's head out. This engine runs amazingly well when you give it fuel. Goodbye, Swanwick. See you again soon. Facilities are great, just like Chichester. Restaurant good, really good. I'll flip you. One yacht behind me came out, one more ahead, so I thought this could be very busy. Actually, it's fine. So I'm staying outside the main channel. There's enough water. I've got 6.5 metres below my keel, so I'm hugging the coastline here. The channel starts over there. There's a green buoy you may be able to see. And there's a very large ship, very unusual. It's just that variety of shipping around here. and the amount of activity on Southampton VTS VHF channel 12, it makes it quite interesting actually. Various ships come and go and listening to the communications. So there she comes. These things have, I think it's a mile moving exclusion zone in front of them that you don't go in front of, and there's normally a Coast Guard boat, or I forget what they're called. Is it the one of the harbour boats in front, just making sure there's nobody forgetting that, put it that way. Oh look, the sun's trying to come out. Beautiful, come on sun. Now there is meant to be some sun later. Originally when I planned this trip, it was going to be raining on Sunday, and I thought I'd be motoring back in the rain. But now, I think the sun is going to come out a bit, although it is quite cold, so that's why I put some clothes on. I was just going to show you this. One thing I'm getting better at, just through experience and confidence building, is trusting the tides and the charts. So for example, going over this, which is 0 to 2 meters at chart datum, and there's currently about 4 meters of tide over that, and so it's not surprising that the depth under my keel is 3.1, because I have a draft of 1.2. Whereas in the past I would religiously follow things like the channel markers, and I would not come inside them, which is fine, but it takes you further round. It also puts you in the place where the bigger boats that actually need that depth are, and I need to be able to just plot my own course through the water, just like through life, and take on board charts, understand the tides, and make my own way. So quite pleased. Channel 16 is quite busy. There's a bit of traffic down on 16, and then Portsmouth VTS, I'll let them go once I get round this headland, or pretty soon actually, and I'll move over. That's Southampton Water VTS. I'll switch to Portsmouth VTS so I can hear what's going on there. Right, as I'm heading out of Southampton Water, it's quiet, there's nobody around. Checked ahead, no fishing boats, nothing. So actually I just got the screwdriver out and took off the dam buoy that was here. I'll put those bits inside in a minute. And if you remember, that held the big yellow dam buoy. Why did I take it off? Firstly, it's split. If you look at the video from when I arrived at Yarmouth, and I could see that side of the boat, so I was starboard side too. For the first time up close, I could see the dam buoy split, and so maybe that's cosmetic, but I worried the thing would sink anyway. Secondly, I do a lot of my sailing alone, so if I fall overboard, there's no one to throw the dam buoy to me. So it's just sitting there, ugly, big, heavy, on the back of the boat, really for little use. I would like to go to France with Becky and my dad. I know my dad's desperate to go again. He's done it many times. I've never done it, and maybe it'd be useful on a passage like that. But I'd rather make sure that the life ring is good, and have good protocols on board, safety briefings, things like that. Maybe invest in a small dam buoy we could keep down below, or a smaller one somewhere else on the boat. But that great big thing is a folly. I bought it before I even bought the boat, just as I was trying to be super complete, and actually I don't think it has a place. So that's off. This is going to be one of those days where clothes come on or off depending on if the sun is shining. Sun's come out, it's actually really looking good, so I better get some sun cream on. And what I do as I put a jacket on or take it off is I do swap, where this is always in my pocket. It's a man overboard beacon. I can activate it if I'm in the water, it sends an AIS distress. It's always on my body somewhere. It's always in a pocket, a zipped pocket or a Velcro pocket. So if I do fall over, this will inflate. This is a really nice one, actually, very comfortable to wear. I recommend it. It has a hood as well that comes over, believe it or not. So even in fairly rough conditions, you're not going to get a mouthful full of water. And with that to keep me afloat, this to send a distress, even if I'm on my own, I'm hoping that's enough should the worst ever happen. And let's pray it doesn't. Thanks for following along, listening to my opinions. I'd love to hear yours on safety equipment. Would you replace the dam buoy with a smaller one? Or is it, and do you keep yours on deck or do you put it down below? Please let me know. Right, so the sun coming through the clouds in a moment. I put the headsail, the mainsail up and a motoring cone. There's literally net zero wind given the 4.5 knots I'm doing. This afternoon, in theory, the wind's going to swing around and give me a little bit of a following wind between Portsmouth and Chichester, so I'm very hopeful I'll get the engine off, but I might be over-wishing there. But as I go past the busy area of Portsmouth with all the ferries, hovercraft, military ships and commercial vessels, I will show that I'm under motor, even if it's blooming obvious because there's no wind, with the motoring cone. Like you're meant to. Do you use a motoring cone? Am I mad doing this? Or am I not alone? Tell me in comments. And I don't know if it will come out on camera, but look at that. The sea is so calm that almost as far as I can see, there's like a still wake of San Pagita. Can you see that? It's lovely. On such a calm and sunny day where the Solent is just flat, it's just nice to kind of sit up here on the coach roof and just reflect on buying the boat, trying to get out, be close to nature, spend time with my dad, adventures with my wife and family, and hopefully through this channel just encouraging more of you to consider getting into boating, either sailing or motor. And for those of you who've taken that plunge to get out and do adventures, I do talk to a lot of people, including on this trip, for example, who do a lot of boating but haven't anchored overnight before. A bit apprehensive about that, and that's not surprising. It can be a little bit scary. If you look back at one of my earlier videos, I dragged in the middle of the night, but then I took steps, more chain, better anchor, and I haven't dragged since. And just that little bit of adventure just brings such a feeling of reward, and I just encourage you to think, how can you push the envelope a little bit safely with planning, and get that feeling of extra satisfaction. So I hope I'm helping with that. Let me know. And as the green can passes down the side of the boat, that means I'm now out of the channel into Portsmouth Harbour. And yeah, there was nobody about, no ships, actually no boats either. It's very quiet out here. I know the weather's a bit funny, you can see I've had to put a couple of layers back on, but it's still lovely being out on a boat. There's Horse Sand Fort. We'll go past her, following a couple of other yachts who've just come out of Portsmouth, and then we'll head off down to Chichester. Yeah, now I'm past the forts. I've lifted the headsail, but there's just not enough wind. If I go to tick over on the engine, I drop to under 3 knots, like 2 knots something. So I would like to get home and see Becky. So I'm going to motorsail. Maybe the wind will pop up before I get to Chichester, but I think at the moment it will be motorsail all the way. Well, it's 1:20 PM as I go past Lobster Pot, quite hard to see. and I have west pole off the port bow. I'll bring in my mackerel line in a minute. It's exactly high water, so that's what I wanted, because that means as I head back through the creeks, I should only have a gentle current. It will be developing more strongly when I get to the marina, but at least for most of it I shouldn't have too much of a current. It's been a lovely trip, the sun's been out, it's not very hot, so I've still got a few layers on, but let's see, last chance to get some mackerel. Oh well, we tried. Just heading in on the channel. Got some sailing boats out. So yeah, we'll just stay out of people's way on our way back. Right, coming up to a busy spot for sailing dinghies, racing dinghies. I've just seen the masts at Chichester Marina. I don't know why, but I did a little giggle. It's nice to be home. It's quite tiring sailing. And we've had some adventures, including my fuel supply problem. Oh dear. But today's been a lovely day. A lot of motoring. Managed to get some sail assist. Didn't catch any fish. Did catch some sun. Let's just get her home. I'm arriving just on the end of free flow as they've advertised it, literally to the minute. So I'll give them a call from the usual place and we'll see what they want to do. They'll either let me through at the end of free flow, which means there'll be a torrent of water come flying out through the lock. So we'll have to gun it to power in and then be ready to let go of the power as soon as I get in, or when I get in. So that I don't go past W pontoon, or they'll say lock in, which I'm very happy to do. I've got a little line ready so I can tie on. So let's see. Although the advertised time, it generally depends day by day. They'll make a decision based on how fast the water's flowing through. But they're professionals, they're really great at the marina.
Spread the needle.